I read the novel when I was a teenager because here it's like a must in every school. So when you're in high school, you read the novel, you even have to write an essay about it. That's how everybody has its own story related to 100 Years of Solitude. When my agent told me they are looking for a DP, I was like, oh my God, this would be my biggest dream.
We built everything from zero. That was like a dream, to build Macondo 3 or 4 times, to design how we are going to shoot it, translate how can we imagine that for a book that everybody says that you cannot film that. So for us it was a real challenge to do it. That it was like exactly like a dream come true.
Hey everybody, this is Josh from Manhattan Edit Workshop. Welcome to Sight, Sound, and Story Behind the Lens, the cinematography of 100 Years of Solitude, which, well, I'll get there. First, I wanted to talk about Manhattan Edit Workshop. I want you to feel free to like us and subscribe us on all of the various social outlets that you can find out there. If you like what you see, send us a note. What other things can we do to keep you interested and keep you entertained and informed? This event was really a big one for me specifically because I've been trying to read Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude for many years. And then, of course, I never got around to it. And as luck would have it, I was rewarded for that by a Netflix series that essentially set out to film the unfilmable. That's what they say about this series. And what they've done is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. It's got depth. It's got character. I mean, obviously the source material is great place to start, but what they've done here is truly unbelievable. So tonight we're going to look into the cinematography of this. This is 8 episodes. So this is the first a part of a 2-part series that has 16 full episodes, and they are so incredible and so dense. But Paulo Pérez and María Herrera joined me to talk about the cinematography, which is kind of unbelievable. They built the entire city to shoot this story, and they'll go into greater detail there, so I won't go into it now. But I just want to say this is a really special event. If you've read the book, you'll love the show. And if you haven't, like me, it just makes you want to go out and read the book, which I promise I will do before the second season comes out. So as always, I want to thank our sponsors, AJA, ACE, American Cinema Editors, and Filmmaker U for their continued support for our events. Janet Dalton and Jason Banky, who behind the scenes make all of this stuff happen. So all I have to do is pop on the Zoom, make sure the sound doesn't sound horrible, and introduce the event to you. So enough from me. Let's get to Sight, Sound, and Story Behind the Lens of 100 Years of Solitude. Curious about creating high-quality YouTube videos? Enroll in video editing and production classes at Manhattan Edit Workshop to sharpen your skills and turn a hobby into a career. Start your journey to becoming a pro today. Well, thank you for joining me, Maria and Paulo. I could not be more excited to talk with you about the Netflix series 100 Years of Solitude. We thought it was 7 o'clock in the morning for you, but we now learned that you're well rested. It's not that early. The light might change behind you, Maria, though. As the sun goes down. Where are you coming from?
Right.
What's that?
I'm in Paris. I'm in Paris,
Oh,
so yeah, it's gonna be night in do you prefer like a neutral background?
you're the cinematographer, so if it only makes sense that as we're talking, the light is gradually
Going down
I
like
mean,
in the
it was
show.
on purpose. Like this is
Yeah,
the only window in this office. So
I will take what we can get. We're here to talk about you and your work. You've both been acquainted with the source text for some time, I assume. And if not, I imagine reading the book before starting work on this project would have been essential preparation. So, what was it like to, get involved in a project like this? How did that happen? And then, you know, in a general sense, what was it like to kind of get yourself prepared?
Wow. Because in Colombia, this book is very iconic. Gabriel García Márquez is our greatest writer, and you can find everywhere a place that is called Macondo, everywhere. So
Hmm.
it's all over the country. So for me as Colombian, it was a very a big challenge and a big responsibility. And of course, I read the book in the school, then 2 or 3 times more. And the last time was before we shoot the show, no? So and I also I studied in Cuba in the film school that Garcia Marquez founded there with the rest of the Latin American filmmakers. So it's another responsibility because it's my film school, the International Film School in Cuba.
It's wild. It's really rooted in, you know, it's a lot to live up to, right? What about you,
I
Maria?
read the novel when I was a teenager because here it's like a must in every school. So when you're in high school, you read the novel and you even have to write an essay about it. And that's how everybody has a story, its own story related to 100 Years of Solitude. So for me, it was the first book where I cried while I was reading it. When my agent told me they are looking for a DP for 100 Years of Solitude, I was like, oh my God, this would be my biggest dream. And that's how I met Paulo. But yeah, we had to read it again, like at least a couple of times before the shooting, and also like everybody was like an expert. Yeah, with very professional people. I mean, with very prepared. They were like really. They had done a lot of research. We had an historian with us in the team. So you had to be really involved in not only with the novel, but with all Garcia's work, just to know if you were gonna take decisions, they had to be um, with his work.
This is the dream project of yours,
Yeah,
and
it was
then
my dream
it
project.
comes to you. And so, what's that like to say, for someone to say, yes, you can, this is yours. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like, but what was it like to say, oh my gosh, I'm working on this?
No, it was a constant dream. Really, it was like
Mm.
it took a long time also to recover because yeah, I was somewhere else. Like it took me, I didn't want to do anything that wasn't related to the novel when I was there. So
Mm.
I couldn't watch a movie on the weekend that I
Mhm.
wouldn't use as a reference. It was quite an obsession. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
that good.
Mm.
it was an obsession for all of us. And the thing that we built everything from zero, uh, uh, that was like a dream, no? To build Macondo 3 or 4 times and to design how we are going to shoot it, how we are going to translate the voice of the book. How can we how can we imagine that for a book that is unfilmed? That was that everybody says that you cannot film that. So for us was a real challenge to do it that, and we discovered some form to do it, but it was with the whole team to dream about that, to dream every time, to dream how we can do it. When we talk with the directors, with the design, with the production designers, with everybody, it was like exactly like a dream come true.
Yeah, I read an article that referred to it as the school of 100 years. And everyone went and just had this experience of learning, finding the sort of the authentic, clothing or the furniture, the setting, the landscape, and everyone like there was really this reverence, right, to the source material, but to live inside of that feeling for that long, um, it must take you to a place, and that's interesting because it sort of takes you into the story and sort of you're communicating the story from within it in a way, and in channeling it. I would imagine it sounds like that, at least, that you're really living in the experience.
I begin with March 22 when I go to we film it in a farm. We choose a farm to build everything there. It was a farm in a small city here in Colombia. Ibagué is 4 hours from Bogota. That is the biggest city, the capital. And we built it there because it was close to Bogota, because to film in the Caribbean coast in Colombia is like 3 days far away from Bogota by car. So for us, it was easy to shoot there, but we built it 3, 4 different macondos, and we built the house there, like we built a studio like in the middle of nowhere in a farm, and they built like an hangar, a tent, this concert tent, and they built the house inside the tent. So because it was so difficult to cut the scenes in a real studio and in the real town. So we built everything very close, and this it was like a small city, a small Macondo city in the middle of a farm.
Did you? I saw pictures of the house underneath the hangar. Um, it's kind of, and it's real too. So there's real, foliage and plants. So like things growing
Yes.
inside of this set. Was it covered in a way that you could use any natural light that were coming through, and it just was made it more diffuse, or was it covered so that you could control all of the light inside?
No, it was covered, but we have the two different sides that we can open it, and the light come can come, and it was very interesting because for the sunsets or for the morning we have the real light in the background, but in the sides we have some backdrops, big backdrops. So it was the mix between the artificial light and the natural light. So we
Yeah.
use the natural light in a certain way.
We had to design together the lighting inside of the set, uh, with a weight that could hold, no, because it was not prepared for holding a lot of weight, the ceiling. So it was like a lot of logistics for us. Like we had to design which kind of lightings depending on the weight and the quality of the light and where. And we end up like, how many lights we had in there? Like
Now, at the
300?
more at the
Yeah.
beginning, I asked for more lights because we wanted to do like a soft sky. But the real thing was that this hangar or this tent cannot have too many. It was too heavy to hang big lights. So
Yeah.
we bring these balloons with LD balloons to the place, and we have the big lights like 18 or tubes lights in cherry pickers, in 4, 5 different cherry pickers. So we have a hard light and a soft light. And it was
We
very
had cranes for the lights to be able to move them, because there are a lot of like time lapses with light. So we had cranes for those big lights to make the sunsets and the sunrises, and then we had a lot of LED panels on the sides and the balloons on the ceiling, with a console connected to a console, so we could all control
DMX.
it.
You're also doing, and we can watch clips intermittently because there's some really interesting stuff that you're even saying that pertains to them now. And if we have a visual reference, but you're also doing a lot of things in single takes. And so not only are you controlling different lights from different sources, but you're controlling different characters that have to appear on one side, and then at the end of a shot they reappear sometimes
dressed in a
multiple times. Yeah,
different.
so the choreography, I can only imagine the second they're out of frame, they're running and ripping off their costumes and turning on them. And of course, all of that's happening outside there. And all we see once it's got, the final sound and the music and everything's done, it's like we just see the illusion, the magic. So the magical realism aspect of it, which is
Exactly.
really well expressed, because nothing feels sort of beyond the world of the story of the character. Um, and I know how important that was. And originally the author felt that this couldn't be done. And I guess was it 10 years? He's passed away 10 years ago.
Yes, 10 years ago, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the technology was used in such a respectful way and an organic way,
Mhm.
that, and again, this isn't coming from someone who knows the book. I'm just watching this as my source text is the series, but to see it handled in a way that it's not outside of the characters and their lives at all. It's just an extension. Um,
Yes, but for it was very important that the magic realism is part of the everyday life. It happens like in a natural way. So we don't want it to do VFX. We wanted that all the things happen in front of the camera.
mhm.
So that is why we designed this type of shots. First, because the book is jumping all the time in the time, and we have too many characters that grow up in the meantime. So the idea was how we can how we can do that without doing different layers of image or something like that. So we decided to do that in one shot, and with the actors and with the play. So we want to break the time and the space
Mhm.
with this sequence, so that the and it has to be with the voiceover, with the narrator of the story, that is Babylonia. Babylonia is the first character appears that is reading the book, and we thought that this person that is reading the book is the camera. The camera
Mm.
is the way what we are going to tell the story with this movement. So this camera, because he didn't know what is going to happen, because he's reading at the same time, with the camera go and follow one character, and maybe he saw another action, and go to the action, and come back to the same character and go again. So this camera is alive. This camera is the voice of the book, and because it's a career story, from people of the coast, it has to feel alive. So we use it in this part, in this third, in the first three episodes, this handheld camera with all the time with the movement, and the movement means that the story is very go in circles, like in the book. Our visual approach to the project, it was the movement to break the time and the space.
That's wild. I did notice, that it seems that it latches on to perspective and then releases perspective. So we'll see something through the character's eyes, and then we'll come around and we'll see something, and then we'll see the character. And so it does that. It's really fluid the way you capture the way someone sees the world and sees a moment, and then it takes us back out and we observe it on our own as a third, sort of like like a reader. It's really,
Exactly.
really interesting.
It's very interesting because sometimes you are in the as a first person that is reading, and then you are in a third person. We are jumping in between objectives and subjectives all the time.
But not even it's not a jump. It's fluid. It
Exactly.
happens
Yeah.
right because your camera will pull around, and then it's on the face of the person. Well, why don't we watch a couple of clips so we can illustrate this? But
Exactly.
it's true. It's really interesting to sort of escape the perspective without jumping, without an edit. and just to do it with movement. So we'll watch this is from the very first episode. This is before that Macondo was really becomes a city, but it follows the boy through the town.
Macondo era entonces una aldea de 20 casas de barro y caña brava, construida a la orilla de un río de aguas diáfanas que se precipitaban por un lecho de piedras pulidas, blancas y enormes como huevos prehistóricos.
Hola, papi.
Hijo.
El mundo era tan reciente que muchas cosas carecían de nombre, y para mencionarlas había que señalarlas con el dedo.
Hijo, mira, te tengo estos corozos para que se los lleves a tu mamá para que te haga un jugo bien sabroso. Gracias.
José Arcadio Buendía había dispuesto de tal modo las casas que desde todas podía llegarse al río y abastecerse de agua con igual esfuerzo. Y trazó las calles con tan buen sentido que ninguna casa recibía más sol a la hora del calor.
Hola, mami. Otra vez en cuero, y es que no te da vergüenza. Y estoy corozo. ¿Quieres que te haga un juguito? Vamos, pues.
Going in and out of interiors and exteriors, and Ursula is at the beginning. She bookends the entire sort of introduction. What was it like to? So, did you both shoot everything together first of all, or is this sort of one of you is shooting one or the other?
No, but Paulo started in chapter 1, 2, and 3. So this is Paulo's shot.
Uh-huh.
And then I did 4, 5, and 6, which is 10 years after. I mean, it jumps 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Paulo finished in 7 and 8. So
Okay.
he did all the war.
We did all the cows. So this shot is the way why we shoot this way, and so because we don't want it to show how we build Macondo. This is the first Macondo. We saw different movies about the time jumping, how to jump in the time, but we saw it. Normally you see one frame, and in this frame everything changed, or we saw people doing the things of building, and for us it was like it is nothing very special. What happened if we follow this kit, because because all the problem is all the problem of what they go from the parents' town is because they are cousins, and the mother said that the kids are going to have a pigtail. That is why this kid goes naked through the town, because we wanted to show the first person that born in the way to Macondo, that show us the town, and it was more interesting to see the town like it's now, like seeing how they build it. The voice of the person, the voice with the narrator, and the characters running in everywhere, because you see not only Ursula, you see the parents like 2 or 3 times with different costumes. The clip continues another minute. It was a 3 minutes long shot all around the town and the house of the Buendias.
How does it? So the choreography obviously is massive. Does it take you a week to shoot this? A day? Like how many times do you? Because seriously, you don't have the you can't say, oh,
like
well,
half a day
in editing, right? Like you have to get this has to work. Or it has to work well enough. You have to choose the one that works the best.
Yes, we shot it like 7 or 8 times, and I think we did like 2 rehearsals. But at the end, my Steadicam operator, Julio Valdez, his
Yeah, he was trembling.
It was exactly because it was very heavy. A three minutes long shot with this camera that is the Mini Alexa LF and with this hook lens that it was like 30 kilos all the time in the camera or more. So it was a challenge for him and for all of us and for all the crew because it was not only the principal characters, all the people around moving, the people of the costume changing the person, with the wardrobe, with the makeup, everything. So and with a kid that is like 4 years, we have all the problems. We have like four different kids born in Macondo. So we have all the time small kids in the shot. So
Yeah, I mean, as a side question, were there rules around shooting with children? Like you can only shoot 6 hours a day, or was it? Yeah, so you had less time when you had children, and there were children.
We have to be very fast. And the other thing is that I have a director, Alex Garcia. It was a very interesting director because he liked to shoot very big and with all this movement. So we have to rediscover how we are going to shoot with him because he has all the time new ideas and he make everything bigger. When you shoot, when you see the shot of, that we did, it was always all the time bigger and bigger and bigger with many people, like 100 or 200, 300% all the time in the frame. And with the small kids and with movement and with 360.
And sounds easy. It's easy. What do you do?
And it was not only during the day, it was in the night too.
Yeah, well, there's the scene, the insomnia scene when the town's going crazy.
Exactly.
We'll watch that too. But yeah, how much room is there for new ideas in this, in spontaneity to say, I want to change this and I want this to go from little to big, or I want this move to go around this corner. I mean, is that you're saying the directors did come up with ideas on the spot? Would you have to make adjustments like that on location?
Yes. He have an idea that he changed his idea and in the morning he came and said, I didn't sleep last night because I have this idea and a crazy idea. Then he told me first idea and I said, okay, let's do it that in this way. So we find together the way to shoot it. The AD was crazy because he has to move everything around us, and he said that we were a pair of crazy people. But at the end, we begin to read Alex, and we have to be 2 or 3 steps forward.
And that's possible.
We tried to do it, and I think we did it. But you can imagine that in these huge sets and with all these people, it was very tricky.
When you work that long with the same people, I would assume you can get into their brains. Maria, were you also able to like read the sort of
Yeah.
You ever see a storm coming in terms of let's change everything?
Yeah, I mean, my director was completely different. Mine was Laura Mora.
Oh, so okay, let me get this straight then. You worked with Laura.
Yeah.
And you worked with, and Paulo, you worked with Alex exclusively, only. So that was
exactly.
Okay. Were you ever working together? Were you ever on location at the same time? Were you always on at the same time? Are you only meeting for the first time now?
No, we had to. We spoke a lot about this, and we also like had to watch each other's rushes at night.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we were filming at the same time, but generally, when Paulo was shooting, I was preparing, and vice versa. So, but we had to prepare a lot because we knew we were the main matching from the series because everything changes so much that we had to keep some things as they began. no, like these long shots, long sequences, and some part of the language and the lighting we kept the same just to make it match. But yeah, we each had one director, and since they're like very different time periods, like and different parts of the story, the ideas were very different. Like our directors were completely different in many ways. No, for example, Alex likes to be moving all the time. His narrator is, as Paulo said, he's discovering a new world. It has like a lot of instinct, a lot of innocence. And in my blog, the characters are older. Many things have come outside of Macondo to influence the environment. The government is established, religion is established. We have new colors, a new color palette. And also, the narrator is different. No, he knows the characters already. So there's not a lot of, I mean, when there's movement, it's because you want to emphasize something. No, the camera is more still, it's more controlled, also the lighting. So we do have different languages because we were with a lot of time apart. Yeah. So we had to keep talking about it. So because we didn't want two different movies in one series.
That's right. You have to. You're working. Like you have to kind of become one mind, one eye.
Yeah.
And that So I would assume you were in constant conversation.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, because Laura, she was like, she likes to prepare everything like a lot. So we watched a lot of movies together. We made a lot of shooting lists. We had a lot of references like paintings, frames. Yeah, she likes things to be very specific. She's not gonna come to the set like saying, okay, let's change everything. No, that I know that was not gonna happen. No. So in that way, I could like design the lighting. I think also in the same way. No, I had that time.
But it was very interesting because as Sarasvati said, we have the dream, we have the diaspora, we found the town, the innocence was there, how they built a civilization, and in a certain one it was very free. And that was the language of the first 3 episodes. And then come the religion, and come the politicians, the love. More people come to the town, and in the third block it was the war. Again, the chaos, everything. It was in another mood. It was the mood of the destruction.
Did you sort of mentally divide the 8 episodes into these pieces by look and feel, or was it just a natural? I mean, the story takes that time period. So, when Ursula is when the parents are recast, it's a different chapter, right? You'd think. And then, when it starts to become a revolution, but did you have a logical, did you have sort of an architecture that you could look at together and examine, or was this done as much by instinct and feel?
I think it was a lot by instinct and by intuition, because I mean, we had some ideas and we prepared as we could, because we wanted the same things. But while we were shooting, we had to change things. We had to make new decisions. Now, for example, we made a pre-color correction with Paulo, a color grading, no? And we had to change that one when that looked when we got to my blog, because we weren't prepared for those colors. No, so we had to change it, and it just went by the flow. We had to do it that way. But I think that was amazing because we were following like the drama.
Exactly.
What was happening? Yeah. In the story.
We go with the drama, and because the color changes, it has a political meaning. It was very important to see the blue and the red because it's the different colors of the parties that are in constant conflict. So for the change of the color was very important. The how intense the colors are, and yes, the meaning of everything it was there. It was instant, but it was in a certain way very close to the story. We work very close to the book. We read every time the episode in the set, and many of the words that the narrator said is from the book.
So it had a sense
Directly.
of color. The book itself has that sense of
Exactly.
color. That's really interesting. Should we? I want to. I mean, we hopefully get through all the clips, but I would definitely want to get to episode 4. So I'm not going to speed through all of the ones from episodes 1, 2, and 3, but I do want. I think there's an interesting thing that's the second clip from episode 1 is also a little bit of acrobatics, but it's something that is it's significant through the entire series. And
Yeah.
I think it's, Prudencio is, I didn't realize how impactful he would be from the beginning to the end and I'm not sure how he participates in the second season, because he's such a part of the I guess the guilt feeling, right? I mean, he is only part of Jose's and
Jose
Ursula's
Arcadio, sí.
story, right? I mean, I think, right, because no one knows about this other than the two of them. But let's watch the clip and see, because I think it's like, it's something that starts something else that really sustains over the course of the 8 episodes.
Desde entonces no tuvieron paz. Los atormentaba la inmensa desolación con que el muerto los había mirado esa noche. La honda nostalgia con que añoraba a los vivos.
So he's in he's in it twice, the character.
Yes, the beginning, and then yes, we have how we build it. Okay, the idea of the ghost. This ghost is part of the course of the Buendia family, and the guilt. The guilt's every time there because they cannot do love after Jose Arcadio killed him. It has to be with the religion, with all the things. It's behind it. It was very interesting what Garcia Marquez expressed there. So the guilt is there. The guilt is the ghost, and how we can see this ghost every time. And we designed that with one shot. How we did it? We begin with the real character. When Ursula came and see the real character with the taking his
The
neck.
wounds, no?
Exactly. And then we follow Ursula and see the ghost there, but in the back that was another person, of course. And when we followed the table and discovered he again near Jose Arcadio. That was the other part. It was like 2 or 3 times more like that. So this ghost is every time there, and this ghost come in the 5 or 6 episode, and come again in the 8th episode. It's a person that when the first death in Macondo appears, he
He
appears
comes
again.
back.
When Jose Arcadio is going to die, he appears again. So it's the death.
Right, but he lives with them. That's the beauty of the way it's because he's not, it's not a special effect. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a halo like, in Star Wars or the sort of thing. Like he lives with them physically as a manifestation of doubt and guilt and death, and he's another family member, and he always felt very physical, very very much like he was right there with Jose Arcadio. Is it Arcadio?
Jose
Oh,
Pablo.
by the way, I missed him so much when he changed. I know that he doesn't have as much time on screen as the older version, but I was so mesmerized by the younger face of that actor. And Ursula too. I was sort of sad, and I was like, "Oh, they're not coming back." Well, they do. He does come back very briefly,
In the
which I
eighth
thought was
episode.
that was a beautiful reunion to me. And part of me missing him was that I was so happy to see him again, and I almost felt the way his son does. Um, but yeah, so Florencio appears in many different places, never to judge. I feel like he just exists alongside him. There's a I don't want to say forgiveness, but a very sort of matter of fact. I am this now, and you
Yes,
must take responsibility for this.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. It's the guilt, as you say, they're guilty for that, for killing him, for the love,
Right, for
and
saying something silly. I mean, that's
exactly.
uh, and even in the bar later on, there's a confrontation where somebody says, I I don't remember exactly what it was. I watched a lot of this in a very little time, but it's not totally dissimilar where there's a confrontation in the bar. With the other son is insulted and he backs down.
Exactly.
But it's of course no. Then of course the musician insults him,
Hmm.
and it explodes into another sort of horrible act that's beyond what's deserved. But
Exactly.
let's stay in the earlier episodes for now.
So
Um,
that is very important to see that how we recreated the magic realism, as I said. It's like every day thing, like the life continue. Of course, you see the ghost of this guy here, or your grandpa or your grandmother. Oh, here they come behind us. Oh, this is my grandpa. So like something natural that is
mhm.
happening, and we want to feel that in every part of the magic realism that appears in the show. And that is why we wanted to do it all in front of the camera. We don't wanted to use VFX. We wanted to do it very cinematic.
Mhm. There
And
were no VFX, or were there some or none at all?
No,
we have
they were there, but they mean just for erasing things like
that.
details that are not like the main magic.
Hmm.
But yeah, all the magical things were like made in camera.
Yeah.
Only maybe the carpet when the kids are playing the carpet that was VFX. That was the only thing.
Mhm.
And the donkey, the burro, ¿cómo se dice burro? The
Donkeys.
the donkey following at the beginning in
Hmm.
the mountains.
Yeah, yeah. There was, yeah, I think with the priest levitating was real, right? So he probably erased
Yeah.
whatever harness was pulling him
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Yeah, the priest and Aureliano at the bar. I mean, it's also
That's beautiful.
real.
Hmm. Um,
Mhm.
well, let's look at episode 2, because not only are you showing sort of the surroundings and what lives with them, but you're also there's a very interesting way to show you have to condense a lot of time. This takes this is 100 years, and so you've condensed this sort of big sort of page turn in a really beautiful way. This is the boy, sort of crafting his first pendant and then
Yes.
becoming an adult. So let's
Mhm.
look at the clip from episode 2.
Aureliano vivió horas interminables en el laboratorio, aprendiendo por pura investigación el arte de la platería. La adolescencia le quitó la dulzura de la voz, lo volvió silencioso y definitivamente solitario. Pero en cambio le restituyó la expresión intensa que tuvo en los ojos al nacer.
Arcadio, Amaranta, dejen de estar hablando en Guayunaiki. Les he dicho que hablen en español. ¿Y a ti qué te pasa?
¿Alguien va a venir?
So I'm going to ask a little question, then I'll go to move on to bigger things. I know there are no accidents in this film. So when the man walks by with the big plant over his shoulder, that has meaning that I don't like immediately understand, but then obviously was intent to that. As he passes in front of you know, I got to keep the name straight. This is Earliano. But the
Juliano,
yeah, he passes in front of him. This man passes in front of him with a big tree on his shoulder,
yes.
and I have yet to unpack that. I don't know what that means.
It was the one of the indigenous that worked with them. When the mother came back to the town, he bring one girl and one man with her from the Waju ethnic. So that is why the kids are spoken in Wayunaiki, that is the indigenous language of this part of Colombia, because these two guys teach them to speak
Okay.
Wayunaiki. So this shot is very interesting because it's again how we can jump the time, how we can see the characters are growing up like Aureliano, and that the kids that we saw as babies are now kids, and how they how develop. Again, we did rediscover the house again. We didn't see all the new part of the house, how we can show that. And that was very interesting because we did it again in one shot. So, and I remember this conversation with Alex and with our production designer, Barbara Enriquez. We were in a car. So Alex said, again, another jump in the time, how we can do it. And we thought, what happened if we use a tornamesa? What is the name of tornamesa in English, Sarasvati?
It's like a round table, but it's
round
for
table.
yeah, it's like a round floor, a floor
Round
that
floor.
moves. Yeah.
So we came
Yeah.
with the kid came to the table. We go with the shot with the Steadicam. We saw what he's doing. My Steadicam go step up in the circle, and the camera. The back is the laboratory. In one time, that was in the present, and when the table turned, we see the other part of the laboratory 10 years later.
Oh my God.
And then we continue seeing the kid working with the fish, and then came another hands that is from the teenager,
Mhm.
and we till that and see the teenager now. It's the same character, of course, but it's another actor, and we begin to follow him going out of the laboratory and going through the house, through the garden, and go to the first. And we saw the kids running. That was baby 10 years before. That were baby 10 years before, and then we came to the room and see the what is the name? La mecedora. Uh, this seat that is moving. That is the meaning of
The rocking
Rebecca.
chair.
Exactly. That is they are seeing that Rebecca is coming. And then we saw the table around with all the people around. The mother said, "Don't speak what you like." That is the language of the thing. And we stopped in the front of the face of the character of Aureliano. Someone is going to come.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we did it in a 2 or 3 minute shot. How we showed the house again without doing fade in or fade out, or without
when he exits the room, the room, and it goes through from indoors to outdoors. That was not, so there's no edit there. That's just camera pat, because I thought it was done in 2 pieces, because it's hard enough to age the room 10 years and have him age and run it, that you might as well get a break, and then he walks through. So that's all one shot.
Yeah.
That's
one shot, and we turn around the table.
That's crazy. Absolutely nuts.
We have the middle of the room was one part of the time, and the other was in the future.
I can only imagine what the production audio sounds like. People
Yeah.
move, everybody, like, just but it's absolutely amazing. And then to be able to, so you've got something that makes the rocking chair go. And this is another one where that's clearly like you give the perspective to him, and then you take it away from him as he walks, as he sees it, basically before he walks into the kitchen. And then it's his perspective, observing his family. Ursula speaks, and then it comes back around, and then we're everyone, and we hear the premonition. It's coming. Yeah, that's. I also feel like it must be a lot of fun. I'm sure it's hard work, but to say, "All right, we got that."
Yes, very fun. It was crazy. It was every time very fun, and we were to do it that, and the choreography with everybody, with it was crazy. Very, very, very interesting and very fun to do it.
At the end, we were so used to doing these kind of long shots that it was easier to do that at once, and then even knowing that you're gonna cut it at the end, that just pause to divide it and then pause. At the end, we end up doing everything like that. Right. It was, we were used to it, and it was faster, no?
But you're not also, you're not aware that it'll be edited, so you don't really know what is going to happen down the road. But it's the objective is to tell that story in that one piece.
Exactly. And many of them they get cut. And I tell Alex, what we did that if you are going to cut it?
Well, that's there's so many answers to that question. I've talked to as an editor. I was an editor for many years. It's sometimes because the best decision is the one where that thing that took all day ends up being cut, and it's and that's the part of the collaboration that can be very complicated, because there's a purity to what you're doing, and you see the story in your mind as being told. This is the way the story is meant to be told, and then everyone else is collaborating, and they bring their own ideas and their own talent to it, and sometimes it's the same intent, and sometimes something changes, and you have to sort of give this to the movie, and the next people who are working on it sort of, they take it and then they bring their gifts to it, and and in the best scenario, it comes out where everyone's talent brings out the best, the best story possible. But
Of course.
But you only see it as this is like, wait, this was my shot. You got my
Exactly.
shot.
And then the color correction, he say, okay, why are you seeing so dark this corner? And I say, because we did like 360 like 2 or 3 times. What do you want? How how I can put the light? And you want to see shadows everywhere?
Uh-huh.
So we have this kind of discussions, but we are close friends, so we have fun at any time.
Well, and sometimes it's technical and practical, and sometimes
Exactly.
it's purely artistic, and hopefully, it's a good combination. Now, Maria, I want to get to some of your work here, and I know how important is it Melquiades, the alchemist friend is, and so in episode 5, we sort of deal with the sort of that, right, that he's drowned, but he's trying to be rejuvenated. There's some mysticism going on in this. I was really taken. It's almost like, I know prestige TV is perfect, right, for this, because you can elaborate over, you can tell the story over this period of time. So many of your work, your shots in your work, both of you, I was like, to see this in a theater would be such an incredible experience. And I have a big-ish TV. Thankfully, the sound is very good, because I think that helps a lot to bring.
Yes.
But like some of these images, I could only imagine seeing them on this giant screen, what it would be like. So hopefully, who knows? Maybe if Netflix is listening, they could do a. I remember I went to the Museum of the Moving Image to see Scenes from a Marriage
Mhm.
on the big screen, and it was an all-day experience, and you watch
Yeah.
episodes, and then you would break and have lunch and come back, and it was different. It was really, it had a different intimacy than watching it as
No,
a
Yeah.
series it was intended.
completely. Yeah.
Completely. We saw the first episode in a big screen, and I say, wow,
Yeah.
how I miss to
Mhm.
to 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 see our work in a big screen. And it's things that I miss really, that you build image for a big screen. And I think we did it again. So because we are filmmakers, and that was our background.
Hmm.
I remember when my teacher said, you are building frames for a big screen. Remember that you are going to have a 5 meter to 20 meters screen. So you are going to see everything there, and everything that is missing or faded is going to be there in a huge image. And
Hmm.
and and that is why I love this aspect ratio, or this anamorphic, or to build this kind of image, the landscape, the big sets like Macondo, or this coral missing scene, so that you can see it. So that is part of that I miss when I do a show like that, so that we can show it in a big screen.
Hmm. Yep. Well, I would love to see it really big, but let's look at this scene, because it's some really breathtaking, like, you know, you're seeing the spirit leave this man or something. I mean, it's all well, you explain it to me once we're done
Beautiful.
watching it. I don't want to speak for you, Maria.
Arcadio, Gratanor, Mercurio.
Arcadio. Arcadio, para. Por Ya es hora de que descanse en paz, Melquiades.
Everything is spinning.
Yeah, I mean, we also had like the spinning floor.
Turning table.
Yeah, we love that. I mean, it was hard to use, but we had the spinning floor, and this was really important for the main character, for Jose Arcadio, because it's when he starts losing his mind. Like he starts burning mercury.
Which is probably why, well,
Yeah, exactly. He enters in a kind of delirium where day and night become like the same thing, and he starts losing his mind. So yeah, it was kind of we shot that also like a single shot, and then the light used to like go day and then night and then sunrise, and it had different moments. And at the end it was just too long, and they had to cut it. But I think it works better, even better, because you don't understand. You do jump from time to time, and you understand that time is passing, and he doesn't even notice. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think also the number of cuts, there's something sort of about it each one could be another day, another, like it sort of it extends the time in a way where you sort of don't even get a sense of how long it's been. Although he was told to burn for mercury for 3 days,
3 days.
so
Mm-hmm.
I sort of assumed that it was at least that amount of time. But I also know him, how much he loved him, and it's instead of him being, it's like he's sort of like, because you can see that look in his eye, even though nothing's happening. He's sort of like he's getting consumed by the spirits or something. It's haunting, really. Smoke machines must have been going crazy that day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we of course we had a lot of smoke, and also how to start building that atmosphere. No, like you had to go gradually building that delirium. And it's really important that he realizes he's not gonna wake up, and something breaks inside of him. So because he's not the same after that.
No.
It's just before he's gonna lose his mind. He's gonna be in the tree at the end of the chapter.
Right. Which is like, for how many years? That's the part I couldn't understand. I was like, he's been sitting there next tied to a tree for years.
Yeah, he was there for years, no, Paulo?
Yes, you. Wow, I think I like
Probably 10
like
years.
10 years or more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But also there's something about when he's laying there, and sort of the smoke around him, it just seems like that something's escaping, right? It's a spirit, it's very spiritual.
Mm.
And then Ursula is very practical. She had
Yeah.
to bring reality to, what she says, please stop, right?
Yeah, she's actually the one who's moving the house. Like she maintains the house, like
Yeah.
because she has the business, like she takes care of everyone. She's the
She
earth.
runs the city. I mean, remember at some point they say that you are running the city now. It becomes her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jose Arcadio is like the
Right.
dreamy part of the couple. Yeah.
Well, they make a good couple. All right. Well, let's look at this is an episode 5 clip, and we will talk about. Let's look at it and then we'll talk.
Non morire con deve se comporte.
No muere, debe se comporte.
Non morire con deve
No morir con debe
se comporte.
se comporte.
Remedios se echó encima la dispendiosa tarea de atender a José Arcadio Buendía. Le mantenía limpio de piojos los cabellos y la barba. Y en los últimos meses había logrado comunicarse con él.
Metos. ¿Miedo?
Et cur non timerum.
El problema es que si pasan por acá, nadie las ve hormiguita. Pero si se quedan de ese lado... ¡Cuidado! ¿Sí ven?
Su llegada trajo un soplo de alegría a los Buendía.
Remedios, ven para acá que vamos a aprender a hacer los caramelitos. Ay, mía, qué lindo canta.
Su vitalidad desbordaba las paredes de la casa.
Señorita Rebeca, buen día. ¿Me concede esta pieza? Un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres, un, dos, tres. Muy bien. Y vuelta. Muy bien. Buenos días, mundo.
Y pasaba como un ventarrón de buena salud por los corredores.
Pon un man en don José Arcadio.
Pon un man en remedio.
Buenos días, visitación.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, doña Úrsula.
Buenos días, mi niña.
Aureliano encontró en ella la motivación que le hacía falta para vivir.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's like 3 days or something,
Yeah.
right? It's like so
Yeah.
the
You know,
choreography of that. I mean, it's just, I mean, first of all, it does, you really feel like Remedios is the energy and innocence and everything she brings to their family is so expressed in that.
Mhm.
And some of it's her performance, but some of it is just her movement through a space. And she works hard and she teaches and she dances. Like it's unbelievable. But tell us about the story of that shot. Holy moly.
I mean, for me, I find a lot of resemblance with the first shot that you show from Paulo, because it's like a new way to see the world. You know, you see the house through someone who's also very innocent because she was a child and she had a lot of happiness. She didn't have so much bitterness in her as the other characters, no? So I guess it was like, see how the house only has another life, and you see it like more romantically, no? You see the light is more it's idyllic kind of. So it was this was hard to do also, but we had like we were used to it by you know, at this moment. And we had like 3 teams of lighting. Like one was like the first sun, it was like the sunrise, and then it was like the sunset, and then we had the night and another sunrise. And yeah, I mean, we had, I don't remember how many people we were in camera, but I think like around 80. And we were, yeah, I mean, it was really logistics, because
Yeah.
I remember that we knew we had to do some long sequences like those on the first three episodes. And I remember the day that Laura came and said, I want to do Remedios for one of those sequences. And we thought it was like a good idea to show the house this way and this new dynamic from the family following her. So yeah, I mean, we had like 3 cranes, one for each light, gelatin, colored gelatins, because we did it the old way. And then some LEDs that changed color, through the day and the night, and the balloons. Yeah, it was a whole logistics. I mean, we had to plan it like artistically first, and then we had to do all the logistics.
You rehearse. You have to rehearse this.
Yeah,
many times.
Many times. I don't remember how many times. I mean, we only had like half a day to do it. Like, we don't have a lot of time in a series to do these things. I mean, it's not like Game of Thrones. Like, you have 6 weeks to make this war. No, it's like here we had half a day for it, and we had to make it. But I guess like everybody's super focused because you don't have a lot of time and it has to be perfect. And if you don't make it perfect in that half day, then you don't make it. So you have to. No?
Oh my gosh. Now because the beauty of it is how, it's musical and lyrical and quiet. Now, while you're shooting, is everybody wearing something to keep it quiet, or are you hearing, get the crane, get this? Like, is it like,
no.
Is it chaotic? Oops, sorry, I hit my microphone.
We had
Headsets, yeah.
Headsets, but we also had like names for things. We had like codes of kind of like sunset, sunrise, and then this kind of blue lighting, and this kind of night, or this morning blue. We had different codes, and that's how we were like, okay, when I say rise and then sunrise, and then everybody counts to 7. No, we had like all these things, and also the first AD was like, she was also like controlling all the set, to see, because Remedios had to change her dress like 3 times. So she had like a special dress that you could open super easy, take it off, and then just throw it.
It's the effect is incredibly musical and lyrical, and so it's funny because what you're doing behind the scenes is also a dance to get the shot, right? So it's nice.
No, she was sweating at the end.
I would imagine everybody was sweating at the end.
Yeah, totally.
That's another question. It's hot there, yes?
Very
environment. So you're always sweating to some degree. It wasn't they really didn't have a lot of climate control because it was an open hangar, right? It wasn't.
No, and that was really heavy. We had to choose between like climate control or like lights that we could like take on and off, or like take down, up and down,
Yeah.
So it was obviously more important like to have the right lights and to be able to control them. So we didn't have a climate, but we got used to it. Yeah.
Well, you're living that. You have to live the film. You have to live.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of mosquitoes. We were,
You all had this. You had nets around your beds at night, I'm sure.
Not so much, but in this place, yes.
That was, and so like I guess a little question. So the ants were not practical. That was
the VFX.
Yes, that was VFX. Some subtle VFX.
Some of
them, yeah. We were able to bring ants. It was amazing, and they were very
cooperative. They were,
very cooperative. Yeah, amazingly, we love ants.
The beginning of the show with those all ants.
All real.
They're real.
All real. It's funny. It was such a long time from that moment to, I guess, where it replays itself, or does it not? Because I thought that moment was the moment when Remedios dies in childbirth, but it's not, right?
No, that's at the end of episode 5, and this is kind of at the middle. This is after the wedding,
right?
And then she dies at the end of episode.
No, but I'm saying the beginning of the entire story. That moment is from where? in the story.
From the
That's
end
from the end.
of the
And so that's okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, oh, this is also me thinking that it was only 8 episodes. I was looking for the cycle and not quite finding it. But when I saw Ants, I'm like, oh, but then her death was visually not like that scene. It was similar, but not okay.
because Babylonia find this book in the house that is in this moment Macondo didn't exist, it's destroyed. So he find the book and he begin to read the story of the book, the story of the family.
Story of the family. Yeah. It's very interesting. It does work though. I think we only have time for one more clip because I want you to have the rest of your day. It's in Paris. You can see behind you now. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, magic hour.
Time for dinner. But why don't we watch, because I think this scene is actually really interesting and really emotional. It's clip J. And in ours, it's episode 8. It's his sort of like the sort of dream prior to his death. Really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
José Arcadio Buendía se consolaba con el sueño de los cuartos infinitos. Soñaba que se levantaba de la cama, abría la puerta y pasaba a otro cuarto. Mi muchacho. Aquí a ver, mi viejo amigo. Y luego a otro, como en una galería de espejos, hasta que se encontró en uno de ellos con su descendiente, Aureliano Babilonia, leyendo muchos años después, en los manuscritos de Melquiades, ese mismo momento que él estaba viviendo. Prudencio.
Does Prudencio? It seems like this is the only time that he even slightly ages. Is that he age? Is there gray in
A
his?
little bit, not too much, but it looks older.
Yeah, because he's sort of frozen in the age when he died until this time where he's like taking him with him. Is really yeah. So talking about how to practically achieve that. I mean, some of that is editing, inventive editing, but so how did you go about saying these are the steps by which we're going to lead us to his death?
Yeah, it's again, we wanted to do it all in camera, but of course, and we built the sets in the different locations. So the first location that is inside the house, and when he opened the door, we are in the tent that is in the middle of the camp where Coronel Aureliano is fighting, and his son is coming, and we built the door there in this camp, and then when we saw Jose Arcadio again, We built that in the river, the door and everything, and we go through the door and go into the water with the character, and we saw the other door that is real. It was a door that we put it there.
Yeah.
We go there, we cut it, and go to the laboratory. We built another laboratory, but we built everything. So everything is real. Not the end when they opened the door to the sky. That was VFX. That was it's only the only VFX is that. And because these stars become later the yellow rain of the flowers. That is why they go there. But everything was real. That's what we wanted. Everything real in the frame.
No, it was and that's the thing. It feels that way. It feels solid. It feels like it has mass. But it also feels, because of that, this dream. This all is happening to him, but is it happening here? Is it happening here? Like it's really, I think it's in terms of like saying like filming the unfilmable. There's a really successful way of showing these things. And it's like because you're not drawing so much attention to them, right? You're not making them seem extraordinary in any way. You're just presenting these things that are impossible as sort of matters of fact, and that has
Like part of common life.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. And like I said, I can't wait. I get to read the book, and I'll finish the book before I watch the second half, which is actually really, that'll be that's going to help me. I mean, I get to see the characters because I have cast some of them, but I know there's also a number of people that I don't know what they look like yet. But I'll sort of like have to imagine some of the next generation as adults, but I'll have some of them already sort of in my brain. Although I guess the book jumps back and forth more than this. Is it different structurally?
The book jumps every time, but we tell the story in a chronological way that was easy for the audience to see the show.
I really can't wait. It's made me very, very excited to experience more of it. I think you've done a wonderful job of taking this work and celebrating it and really like elevating it. I mean, it's always the case where you read something and then you see the movie and you're, oh, well, it's not the book, right? And something here, I mean, this will be a companion for me when I read the book, because seeing this first, it becomes definitive in a way for me, having, you know what I mean? Like having not read the book first, I get to read the book and I get to bring all of this visual detail and all of the care with which you brought to bringing it to life to the experience of reading the book. And I think that's only going to make it better for me.
But that is what is happening now. You know that the book is they are selling the book again, like 3 million books in the internet, something like that. Everyone want to read the book again, or to read it for the first time. So that was the idea in a certain way. This is one interpretation of the book. But if at the end you want to read the book for the first time or again, that is good, because we didn't want to do the book literally. So we wanted an interpretation of the book, so that if the people feel that they want to read the book, it's good for us.
It's another experience completely. Yeah. So it's the best compliment, actually.
I had that experience with what was that? It was an HBO series about sort of after the world ended. There was a sort of a world-ending pandemic.
I
forgot.
Station 11?
Station 11. So seeing the series and loving the series, and then reading
I love the series.
The book is so different.
Yeah.
great, so great. And I felt like there were people that I knew who were like, oh, no, no, I didn't like it and this, that. And I was like, but they're both amazing, but they're both different. Like it's the series really takes it in another direction that's completely justified and earned. But and then the book is you can see where it all comes from. And it's its own thing. So I can't wait to read it and then watch this again and then watch 8 more. It's coming out in 2025.
I think so. Yes, at the
No,
end of
yeah. Maybe in
the year.
26, no?
Oh,
Yeah,
26.
so it's not, it'll be late. It'll be like late
I
2020.
think they're going to end it in August. No, I think it's going to be 2026. For us, it takes like to have all the post production. It takes like 10 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's at the speed that I read, that's just enough time. Maria, Paulo, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your experience. I wish we could talk longer, but I also know that you have to eat dinner, Maria, and you have probably a lot to do, Paulo. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about your experience working on 100 Years of Solitude?
No, I want to thank you because it's a very nice interview. I think we saw the most important things of our work, and for me, it's very important that you feel all the things that you feel when you saw the show. That means that our work is done. You know,
Yeah. And
for
that you watched it until the end.
exactly.
We appreciate that so much.
I couldn't not watch it, by the way. I was going to not watch episode 8, but you can't not watch. I mean, it's like the way of the book you can't put down. This was the series I couldn't stop watching. I think I watched 3 or 4 episodes yesterday.
Wow.
Wow.
It just takes it has a momentum to it. It really does. And so beautiful work, both of you, and to the whole team. And I can't wait for more people to see this and see the film and read the book. And hopefully we'll have a big screening where over 2 days people can watch 4 episodes on one day, take a break, watch 4 episodes, and then come back and do it again. I mean, can you imagine having a film festival just for 100 Years of Solitude?
Please,
Fantastic.
please.
That would be so cool. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll all be seeing this real soon. Thank you so much for watching Sight, Sound, and Story Behind the Lens of 100 Years of Solitude. I hope you found it entertaining and informative. And I hope you go out and watch the series. Again, it's amazing. It just makes me want to read the book, which I unfortunately haven't. And if you have read the book, it's going to be an incredible expression of this kind of unfilmable magical realism that it's taken years for this to come together. And I think it did beautifully. So once again, thank you to AJA, ACE, American Cinema Editors, Jason Banky, the wizard. He's our Oz behind the curtain, making it all happen. And Janet Dalton, of course, too. Thank you so much. Give us some comments of things you'd like to see. Like us, share us. Go to YouTube for 300 more videos of content just like this. And you keep yourself busy for a long time. This is Josh Apter from Manhattan at Workshop. Until next time, I'm signing off. Thanks for watching.